flying fighters today is probably the purest form of combat, and that I realize that when I enter the aerial arena, that regardless of the odds, that there's a fairly good chance that it will all boil down to me and my airplane against an opponent and his airplane, and that only one of us will leave the fight. The opportunities for both of us to get away will probably be remote. So I have to be ready when I go in, mentally and physically, to know that if I don't win this fight, there may not be any others to follow. But it's a physical task as well, because it's a strenuous occupation when you engage in an aerial battle that lasts 7 to 8 minutes, at which time during the battle you may, from 10 to 20 times, pull 7 Gs or so.
Okay, let's say we're sitting in the cockpit now and I'm up here flying along. I've got the stick here and my throttles are over here. So now I'm starting to really get into a fight and I'm pulling Gs and turning the aircraft. Well, what happens is, as you pull Gs, you've really got to sit up straight because your head weighs an awful lot. So what we wind up doing when we're pulling Gs and we've got a tunnel vision problem and we've lost our peripheral vision is you wind up having to turn around. And you talk about an uncomfortable, painful thing that you've really got to do is here you are pulling the airplane and turning, and now you got to keep sitting straight, and you sort of push yourself around, keeping your head balanced almost, and look behind you, and 9 times out of 10, just when you think you've got the whole world, you know, I'm going to kill this guy, you look back there, oh, there's another guy coming in on you. So now you got to break off your attack and defend yourself.
Okay, I got a man coming down now, 8 miles, 17,020 right now. I got your right 330 high.
In an air combat is like a chess game. Every move has a counter move, and it's not so much as making the right moves, it's making the least mistakes.
That's 113. You're killed. Cat track and kill, one going downhill. Okay, let's see if we can bug out of here, Clark.
A lot of the inflection in the voice, you know, you start getting really excited, a guy comes in on you, you're telling your wingman to brake, you're trying to think fast, talk fast. You're dealing in, you know, parts of seconds rather than in minutes and half hours. And you try and do an awful lot in a small amount of time. And, nobody likes to get shot because you know that except for just being just a training scenario, the mistakes that you make in this thing are the mistakes that, you know, you could make on a real live mission. And instead of just being called to kill, you'd probably be killed.
Well, did you just call a shot? Yeah, I called a shot right at the time I got the fever, but we'll continue south. Okay, I'm meeting both of them head to head. Let's knock out north. Don't too late now, Heels. How you doing, Cat? Say again, Heels. Heels is dead. Okay, we can just start easing it on down. He's knock it off. Knock it off. He's knock it off. Can't knock it off. Waldo's knock it off. You can knock it off. Really knock it off. Okay, enjoyed it.
I believe anybody that's been in combat will be only more than happy to tell you that he probably does not want to go through the experience again because it's a very painful experience. The fear you learn to live with, but you never learn to live with losing close friends, and by the nature of the beast that occurs quite frequently. So I can say that I do not actively hope that we have another conflict, but nevertheless my job is to prepare for one. And if I look at the current world situation and assess that there will be no conflicts in the future, then really there's not much meaning to my job. So I have to be ready to go fight. And if I'm called upon, of course, I'll be the first one to volunteer to go, because that's essentially what my mission is. But to desire it, I think, is something that's far different. And I don't believe that people that have been there before are very eager to face that type of situation again.
With most of the pilots here having been through Vietnam, they know what it means to go to combat in the air, what it means to lose friends, what it means to have to go visit a friend's wife and say, he was really great, but he's not coming home. So
I hate war. I've been there. I don't want to go back, but somebody has to do it, and I'm ready.
You know, my dad told me something once that was, and I still remember it quite vividly, is I fought in a war so that you wouldn't have to. It's a continuing thing. We keep doing it because we keep hoping someplace down the road somebody will not have to do it. It hasn't worked yet. We've always been involved in some skirmish or someplace, so to say that there won't be a war or there will be a war, I think is kind of up in the air. We don't really know. But I will say this, if it happens and we have to fight in it, I'll be there.